Welcome back to the Daily Dope Show. My name is Brandon Strong, and I am your friendly commentator and friend. Um, I've been doing this channel for a little over a year now. We're going to celebrate. And ever since I've been doing this channel, I've been bringing all the reports coming out of Insys Therapeutics. And just to give you a quick summary, we started out with basically Insys coming in to a big, market share of the fentanyl market with a mouth spray. And then they lobbied for marijuana to be illegal in Arizona, about $500,000. And then they, got a approval from the FDA for a synthetic THC. Meanwhile, they keep getting busted doing bribery schemes and, basically duping the DEA and big insurance companies. And Michael Babbage, one of the players in this, has already gotten busted. He's one of the big players. I believe he was the, one of the, CEO. I think we're going to go ahead and read this. So John Kapoor, the billionaire founder of the Arizona pharmaceutical company, was arrested today in Phoenix like a drug cartel boss and charged with illegal opioid distribution. His arrest by the FBI and indictment on a raft of bribery and fraud charges came a few hours before President Donald Trump made a major announcement in the fight against opioids, which he's been responsible for tens of thousands of deaths in the past couple of years alone. The feds accused Kapoor, 74, and several top executives of the Chandler-based Insys Therapeutics with a conspiracy scheme that has helped lead the country into its epic opioid problem. Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich sued the company last month following an investigation into Insys' alleged fraudulent fentanyl-pushing scheme. The federal case is being handled by the Massachusetts U.S. District Attorney's Office. Mr. Kapoor was taken into custody without incident at his home in Phoenix, said Boston FBI spokeswoman Kristen Satera. Kapoor's great wealth came from Insys and Acorn Pharmaceuticals, an Illinois-based firm he founded. Besides helping fill the world with opioids, he is also the founder of J&K Concepts, a company that owns 7 restaurants, including Roca Accor in Scottsdale and Marigold Mason in Phoenix. Kapoor was scheduled to appear in Arizona U.S. District Court in Phoenix at 3 p.m. today and will appear at the federal courthouse in Boston at a later date, according to a news release. Quote, in the midst of a nationwide opioid epidemic that has reached crisis proportions, Mr. Kapoor and his company stand accused of bribing doctors to overprescribe a potent opioid and committing fraud on insurance companies solely for profit. So, again, bribing doctors to overprescribe fentanyl mouth spray and also frauding on insurance by basically faking diagnosis, said Acting United States Attorney William D. Weinreb of the Massachusetts District. Quote, today's arrest and charges reflect our ongoing efforts to attack the opioid crisis from all angles. We must hold the industry and its leadership accountable just as we would the cartels or street-level drug dealer. I'm sorry if I'm not celebrating enough, but I just don't think any drugs should be criminalized, and anybody should be, as they say, rounded up and thrown in cages. I mean, and this guy's probably got hundreds of deaths, thousands of deaths, maybe even hundreds of thousands of deaths under, on his little notches, wherever he puts his notches. This guy, to me, he looks sadistic. I don't know what it is about this guy, but this guy, he's just got this look about him that every time I've seen pictures of him, he had this kind of sinister smile going on. And I mean, just every picture of him. And I don't know, man. You know you're dealing death when you're dealing with fentanyl mouth spray. So the other Arizona defendants include the company's CEO and president, Michael Babbage, who, like I said, got arrested last year right around my birthday. And when I did that clip, I was like, why the fuck are they not going to arrest the kingpin? Well, I guess I got my wish. The company's former vice president of managed sales, Michael Gurry, 53, of Scottsdale. 4 other defendants are from North Carolina, California, Michigan, and Florida. They're charged with conspiracy to commit racketeering, mail fraud, and wire fraud in a 79-page indictment unsealed on Thursday that also seeks asset forfeiture. Well, it looks like they're getting the, marijuana grower or big-time seller or smuggler treatment, where they just want to come and get you and get everything you got and put it all up. So they're charged with conspiracy to commit racketeering, mail fraud, and wire fraud. Those charges are major serious offenses. But I didn't see anything about, over manufacturing or putting drugs in the wrong hands, or maybe even manslaughter, second-degree murder or something. It's almost like when you got something as dangerous as this product right here, this little tiny contraption here, it just sprays pure fentanyl into your mouth. Fentanyl is like 50 times stronger than morphine. So there's, these charges: racketeering, mail fraud, and wire fraud. Ain't that how it always works? Well, whatever, I mean, we can get what we can get, I guess. Under Kapoor, Insys Therapeutics helped cause the failure of last year's cannabis legalization ballot measure with a $500,000 donation accepted by the opposition group Arizonans for Responsible Drug Policy. Hi, we're really responsible. We want responsible drug policies. Here, you can go over here and kill people with your fentanyl spray while we make marijuana illegal. That sounds about as fucking responsible as nothing. That's not responsible at all. That's crazy shit. Insys wanted to see the measure go down because it makes a synthetic form of THC called Syndrose, which would have faced competition from legal whole plant marijuana. Because you know why? Syndrose is sold as a fucking appetite stimulant for people with wasting syndrome from HIV or cancer, chemotherapy, you name it. Whatever that it might be that someone needs an appetite for. That's what they're trying to make this shit for. I guess their sadistic fucking asshole plan was to fucking make billions of dollars because you could, squish the whole plant marijuana. In other words, instead of smoking a joint after chemo, you're supposed to fucking eat their fucking pure THC pill. Yeah. He's supposed to make money while crushing people that grow actual marijuana, putting them out of business, and especially recreational. We can't have that. So this guy's a total fucking enemy of the game, all right? He's a scammer. He's a piece of shit. And in my opinion, he's a sadistic mass murderer. He's a pretty bad mass murderer, but he's not as bad as these guys. Look at this guy. He got a medal for killing over 1 million people with his shit. These guys are the Oxycontin clan. Why aren't these guys going to fucking prison? Oh, they're rising up to the high ranking of the Forbes richest American families list. Right on that list where you're right up there with El Chapo and shit. Purdue is one of the number one killers, and they're one of the biggest pushers of their shit onto the market and lobbyers for, to make sure they can push more of this shit out there and get more people addicted to their drugs. They don't give a shit if you die from an overdose. They know that 10 more people are going to take your place. Those fuckers right there. Raymond and Beverly Sackler. Why aren't the handcuffs going on those old clowns? Look at this mansion they live in. They live the old aristocrat style lifestyle. And they learned this shit from somebody before them, or, these pharma companies are all family based, rich ass families. They're already rich before they get into it. And then they get even more rich exploiting everybody for these pharmaceuticals. Kapoor, he's a scumbag piece of shit. He's on his way, rising to the top. Just like Scarface, Al Capone. But the problem is these guys are playing in the legal drugs. He got an FDA approval for synthetic THC. While we're out here fucking, seeing people go to the hospital and do all kinds of weird shit on synthetic THC or synthetic cannabinoids, so-called. So anyway, besides being a total asshole about marijuana, the indictment accuses Kapoor, the former Insys CEO and chairman of the boards of directors, of managing and directing the, quote, development, promotion, distribution, and sale in interstate commerce of fentanyl spray. Quote, following the launch of the fentanyl spray in 2012, Kapoor and Babich quickly grew dissatisfied with the success of the drug during its first 3 months on the market, records state. The defendants then sought to devise and foster a scheme to profit by using bribes and fraud to cause the illicit distribution of the fentanyl spray. Let me translate that for you in case that was a little bit too wordy and beefy. After they put the drug out on the market, this shit here, just after the first 3 months, they were kind of mad that sales weren't a little bit more robust. So they decided to, devise and foster a scheme to profit by using bribes and fraud to cause the illicit distribution of the fentanyl spray. Illicit distribution simply means that somebody was prescribed this shit that shouldn't have been prescribed it. But it could also mean that certain doctors just get a whole shitload of it. And I don't know. Illicit could mean anything. It just means that the wrong person is buying or getting somehow this shit. And instead of buying, it's like they're getting it from their Medicaid or their Medicare or some other insurance. And the insurance is at least covering some of it. So they're defrauding on the insurance. And it's just a all around, outlandishly criminal activity that they're proposing to do. Quote, the defendants and co-conspirators use bribes and kickbacks to try to cause practitioners to issue new prescriptions for the fentanyl spray, as well as increases in the dosage and volume of existing prescriptions. The bribes and kickbacks took different forms, including speaker fees and honoraria for marketing events, food and entertainment, administrative support, and fees paid to conspirator pharmacies. Now, never underestimate this food and entertainment thing. People always wonder about that. Well, that's the whining and dining shit. And they literally spend, I mean, I seen a bill from Lansing, or the lobbyist in Lansing, Michigan, basically, spent $500,000 just in this food and entertainment. That doesn't seem like it would, it seems like kind of chump change, really. But entertainment can mean a lot of things. And in some cases, this straight up means prostitutes. In some states, they've passed laws that say, okay, yeah, I mean, that's fine. Without asking the wives of the congressmen and such. Administrative support. That's kind of it's all these things are kind of like iffy, but the one that really got me was the speaker fees. That reminded me of the Hillary Clinton thing, or now the Barack Obama. He got the $400,000 speaker fee from something. I mean, what are you still trying to bribe people for? The bribery scheme couldn't be fully monetized without insurers getting involved, the feds allege. So the group also, quote, sought to mislead and defraud insurers to help pay for the potent opioid spray. That's the tactic that Bravanovich is also suing over. So that's a stretch there, but apparently they have evidence to prove this. They basically, were, already scamming insurance companies by telling them, oh, this guy over here has cancer, when you don't really have cancer. Now all of a sudden they know about it, or you tell them about it, and you have to make some kind of arrangement with them. Fentanyl produces effects very similar to morphine and heroin, but takes effect faster and more intensively in users, according to the indictment. It was approved in early 2012 as a powerful palliative for cancer treatment, but its makers wanted many more people to use it than just cancer patients. The drug is expensive, costing thousands of dollars for each month of use. Medicare, Medicaid, and other insurers wanted end users to have a medical diagnosis before they prescribed the drug, the indictment states. And they preferred patients that have already tried other drugs before obtaining the fentanyl spray. The need to get around those policies prompted an extensive and elaborate fraud scheme by Insys, according to federal prosecutors. The defendants created a speaker program in 2012 intended to raise the awareness of benefits of fentanyl at an educational lunches and dinners. They paid licensed medical practitioners to lecture about fentanyl's use at the events. Man, I would like to be a fly on the wall real quick there and see what exactly are these fuckers talking about, hyping up this fentanyl. I mean, it's fucking deadly. It's so potent that it's fucking deadly. In 2012, email to sales managers, Babich said he wanted sales representatives to understand, quote, the important nature of having one of their top targets as a speaker. It can pay big dividends to them. This is unbelievable. But it gets better. It gets crazier. Believe me. You're about to hear some real crazy shit in a minute. All right, so the company's Southeast Regional Sales Manager, Alec Berlikoff of Charlotte, North Carolina, later told sales reps that the key to sales was using the speaker program to pay practitioners to prescribe fentanyl spray, the indictment states. Berghoff told one sales rep in a text obtained by the feds that practitioners, quote, don't need to be good speakers. They need to write a lot of prescriptions. So basically, you didn't have to really worry about whether you were a good speaker or not. I don't even know if I guarantee you some of these people got paid speaking fees and didn't actually give a fucking speech at all. That's going to be one guess. I know that I'll probably read it later, but I'm just going to throw that out there. Not as a fact, but as something that I'm guessing. The speaker bribery scheme became endemic at Insys. I mean, they learned it from the top players in the game, guys. A New Jersey sales rep who felt slighted complained directly to Kapoor in an email about the speaker fees being, quote, thrown at doctors as they run from hotel room to hotel room, I guess. Quote, nobody has offered my doctors unlimited speaker programs to put me in the top 10. Among the rep's peers, the rep told Kapoor, does the speaker money grow on a special speaker money tree? Kapoor and Babich budgeted $10 million for speaker fees in 2014. Holy shit. I wonder if he pitched in on Hillary's campaign. The company wined and dined doctors at expensive restaurants in Massachusetts and elsewhere, and in return for the bribes, the practitioners were expected to prescribe plenty of fentanyl, records state. Allegedly, Kapoor was also well aware of the company's plan to ensure that insurers and doctors didn't limit their patients to small doses of the spray, since higher doses meant more product would be sold. Just basically begging people to overdose. All right, now here's the fucking kicker, guys. This is probably the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of in my life. And it's surreal because this is fucking people that are killing people with their drugs. The company even made a video featuring a sales rep dressed as a giant fentanyl spray bottle, rapping and dancing to a song that pushed the idea of getting doctors to prescribe high doses. Holy fucking shit. You can't even make this shit up, man. I can't make it up. I can say that you got to be high as fuck to make something like that up. But I really would like to see this video of a sales rep dressed as a fucking giant fentanyl spray bottle. I can't even picture it. I mean, here's Babich right here. Imagine him. Put his head on there. Someone Photoshop that shit. Are you kidding me? Dancing around, rapping to a song, talking about doctors prescribing higher doses. You cannot make this shit up, guys. Quote, the allegations of selling a highly addictive opioid cancer pain drug to patients who do not have cancer make them no better than a street-level drug dealer, said Harold H. Shaw, special agent in charge of the FBI's Boston Field Division. Now remember, we just found out a couple days ago that the corrupt bullshit going on with the DEA and fucking Big Pharma and all that shit, and lobbyists and congressmen and senators and all these people writing these laws, and even Barack Obama signing it. What we found out was that the DEA might even be kneecapped in a situation like this. But fortunately, these guys, they're breaking so many fucking laws that the FBI had no choice but to shut this bullshit down. Quote, today's charges mark an important step in holding pharmaceutical executives responsible for their part in the opioid crisis. The FBI will vigorously investigate corrupt organizations with business practices that promote fraud, with a total disregard for patient safety. In his opioid speech today, Trump announced that his administration will declare the opioid problem a public health emergency and deliver grant funds to help combat the crisis. Ooh. So this is Ray Stern who wrote this. Excellent work here. Again, picture this fentanyl spray thing here. Picture Babich's fucking head on it. Now this clip is this is December of 2013. This is about a year after the release of the Insys, the Subsys. Is that what it is? Yeah. About a year after the release of this. they were on this CNBC video. Babbage was. And let's just jump in our little time capsule machine and zoom back to 2013 in December and see what this is. Just watch this pitch. I'm gonna just watch this video with you. Just watch this fucking sales pitch, guys.
Roaring stock for you guys. The IPO has been fantastic. Tell us what it is about Insys that has investors so excited.
Hi, Dominic. Thanks for allowing me to speak about the company today. One of the main things about Insys and our excitement level that we have for not only this year but going forward is a platform technology that we have. It's a sublingual spray. Our first commercial product, branded product, is called Subsys, and it's a sublingual spray of fentanyl, which is approved for breakthrough cancer pain. And these are patients that experience tall spikes in their pain throughout the day. The device that I brought with me today allows the patient to simply, with no priming, spray the drug underneath their tongue.
You see that? It is a very small, easily concealed, deadly. How many doses are in that thing?
In a plume geometry. And we believe this platform is very important for the future of drug delivery.
See what he's doing here? He's basically just bragging about the way you can use this thing that gets you high super fast. Like, hey, look, we're the first ones to get you this thing that just, boom, shoot it in your fucking, under your tongue and you're high, like, bam. You know, this is the next best thing to just shooting a fucking needle right into your neck.
A lot of products out there that people are very familiar with are the capsules and pills that people take orally. When you deliver medications underneath the tongue, you're getting more rapid absorption, more of the drug into the blood system, which allows for a better side effect profile.
So, again, he's just bragging about the fucking fact that instead of a slow motion, it takes a while for it to kick in pill, you're going to get this thing that's bam, instant, and, you know, even more intense. He's saying a lower side effect profile. That's because when you take the pills, they're usually accompanied with a bunch of bullshit like acetaminophen or some other shit. And I'm seeing where this Insys Subsys shit's kind of like pure fentanyl.
We feel that.
Well, I was going to say, because this is a big.
And by the way, as a chemist, I'm not a professional chemist or nothing, but I studied some chemistry over the years. And as a chemist, I'm going to say that fentanyl probably is right up there with just as easy to make as fucking meth. Probably, you know, in some circles, it might even be easier to make. I don't know. But it seems like it's pretty damn easy to make. And the government seems to not give a fuck how much these assholes make. They can be filling warehouses up full of this shit. And all we hear about is, oh, it's China fentanyl. The fentanyl is coming from China. Does it look like it's coming from China? Look at this asshole. The fentanyl is coming from people like these guys. They're just trying to figure out how to get rid of it, and they're saying China's where it's coming from. Meanwhile, you know, this is just one way that they're trying to get rid of this shit. Kind of legal, but not really. It's still shady as fuck, especially with the bribing and the scamming the fucking insurance people and the lying to the DEA and all that shit. That, you know, besides that, you know, it's a great way to get rid of some fentanyl. But these guys also have some shady fuckers with trench coats lurking around these warehouses. I fucking guarantee it. You know this shit's coming straight to the black market right from these guys. I mean, these guys, you've heard about what they've already done. Fucking, they're just as shady as fuck. You know?
It's a big deal, and I know that when we talk about these types of cancer drugs, these companies, cancer treatments, they are the way forward. We've seen a lot of smaller companies in the space get gobbled up by the big ones who want that cancer-type pipeline. What's the concern, at least from your side of things? Do you want to keep this thing going? Or
cancer-like pipeline. Did you hear all that shit he just said? All the shit that this guy just said. Let's go back and hear that again. This guy's talking about little companies like Insys that are just starting out. Where are they looking at? Are they trying to get in the pain management market? Are they trying to get in the freaking, you know, PTSD market? or are you trying to get into the cancer sector?
We've seen a lot of smaller companies in the space get gobbled up by the big ones who want that cancer-type pipeline.
Cancer-type pipeline, which is like where you sell a shitload of medicine to somebody that's dying and getting fucking fuckloads of chemo and shit. All these disgusting, money-grubbing fucking capitalist pigs that don't give a fuck about the health of the people they're talking about. They're talking about cancer like it's just some kind of fucking way to just extract someone's money because they want to pay you a bunch of money. Oh, they love buying fucking dope to dope themselves out of their fucking mind because they know they got cancer. What the fuck is wrong with these people? I'm kind of getting a little bit, you know what I mean? I'm getting a little off topic by just being so pissed at the way these greedy fucking pigs, quite frankly, are kind of just like rolling around in the mud. They're talking about people's fucking livelihood here. And really, it's just about some dollars and cents. And by the way, don't forget that this fucking guy on the right, Babbage, he don't give a fuck about whether someone actually has cancer or not. He just needs a person out there to say, hey, I want some fentanyl, and I'll lie and say I got cancer, or we'll all lie together. And that's what they essentially do. They get the doctor to con the fucking patient. Oh, so maybe you want some fentanyl, you know, instead of taking all these fucking Vicodins all the time. You know that shit's killing your liver, right? Good man, these guys are disgusting.
What's the concern, at least from your side of things? Do you want to keep this thing going, or are you looking ultimately to sell to somebody else?
Sure, no, we're in it for the long term. We believe that there's about 30 to 40 molecules that lend
Dronabinol
itself well to this spray delivery system. And what we're doing right now is we're tripling our R&D staff. The success that we've had with Subsys has allowed us to accelerate a lot of the programs that we plan to do in 2016 and 17, and we're going to do them next year in 2015 as well. When you look at our shareholder base, we were very fortunate. We had one sole.
This guy, just one more thing, he comes across as very nervous and very refined and studied on his talking points. Like, he knows his talking points like the back of his fucking hand. He don't even got to worry about what the details are. He's got them all nailed down. He's memorized those, you know, set them up 50 times in front of the mirror when he woke up without even really looking at them. He knows the talking points. But look at him. He's just like crazy fucking nervous and sketchy. This is the guy that when you're interviewing the suspects and the usual suspects, this is the guy that you're like, man, this guy definitely is lying his ass off.
Investor in the company prior to the IPO, Dr. John Kapoor, who's been in the industry, in the healthcare industry for years, and he has large ownership in the company and has done very well over the years.
In case you can't read, so 11 million in the first quarter of 13, second quarter 18 million, third quarter 29 million. So quarterly, they're exponentially jumping in 2013.
And both he and I have a long-term commitment to this spray delivery platform. So look for us to be around for a very long time.
Well, we would look for you to be along for a long time, but it's not happening, bro. You're gone already, and it looks like your boss is about to go down too. And oh, look what else went down. This is just today. Just today on the news. I mean, it ain't like their stocks were doing for shit anyway. The day started out at 7:37. When they woke up tomorrow, they're going to be looking at 574. That's a 22% drop. That's almost a quarter drop in one day of trading. And as you see, CEO is Saeed Matahari, because, of course, now Saeed Matahari comes from Purdue Pharma. He originally worked at Purdue Pharma. He's been the president at Insys since April of 2017. Because basically they had to stick somebody in there in place of, Babbage, who got nailed in December. Now, if you look back a year, it's been a pretty rough ride. It's a bumpy ride, but it starts, higher than it started out today. And, overall, now you could say that from a year ago to today, it's gone down about almost, we're talking 30%. And then you go back, let's look back 5 years. Remember that surge over here in 2013? And it just kept going and going. And then they enjoyed like the big peak of this company in the last 5 years was right here. And yeah, this company's just been around for a little while. And that was their heyday right there. July 31st, 2015. The opioid epidemic was, full steam ahead, chugging along. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Here's some more pictures of this guy. And like I said, it seems like no matter what, he's thinking about doing something real morbid and sadistic. I don't know why I feel like I get that vibe from him. Look at this picture here, though. Tell me I'm wrong. I mean, and this guy's just got some sick and twisted ideas, right? I don't know what it is, but this picture right here, he knows what he's doing. He's sitting around and he's killing fucking people. And he's like, you know what? We don't kill enough people. Let's make stronger fucking doses and tell people that they can take more than, one squirt. Tell them to take 3 sprays a day. 4 of them. Fuck it. This shit's like heroin. It's 50 times stronger than heroin. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about this. Again, I really don't feel like the guy should be treated like he just killed 20 babies and, off to the fucking gas chamber you go or whatever. He was arrested without incident, as the article did say. And overall, I feel like he's going to get what he deserves. I'm not a vindictive kind of person. I personally don't know anybody that died from his product specifically that I know of. But I can't feel a fucking single drop of pity for this guy whatsoever. How is he at the tie con and you don't even have a tie? Just kidding. I have no idea what the fucking tie con is. What the hell is this? Well, I'm going to assume this guy's a chemist. At least. I don't know. Insys Therapeutics, School of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Science. The John and Editha Kapoor Hall. And so I guess they have a hall named in honor of him and his late wife. Enough about him. One more time. This is the true gangster right here. These gangsters are the most guilty in the opioid epidemic for the longest amount of time. And let's face it, this epidemic kind of really got underway in the mid-'80s to the late 90s. It really started picking up steam, but it really didn't start picking up steam until just in the last 5 years. That's when the deaths started really piling up on pharmaceuticals, because the way that we prescribe them has changed dramatically, and that's not by accident. It's by people like this that send lobbies to Washington to allow them to recklessly prescribe deadly, highly addictive opioids on a Schedule 2 or 3 basis, while marijuana is considered as deadly as fucking ricin on some kind of Schedule 1 bullshit. So I don't want to get into a side rant about marijuana and how the government demonizes it while it's letting these fuckers get away with basically mass murder and even, genocide. These drug addicts, even if they don't die, their life isn't life. And it also drags down the people around them. And these fuckers right here, they revel in joy as people are dropping like flies in the opioid epidemic. So, congratulations on getting Mr. Kapoor. Finally, I'm sure enough people are lying dead in his wake. But can we do something about these guys besides putting them on the Forbes list and patting them on the back and saying, good job, guys. We're glad you could kill for the fucking, for the cause. I guess it's about population control in the end. That's all I got on this one. Long ass video. But this was a long time coming.